Here, I am back in San Francisco for the first time in almost 2 years. I used to live here for almost 14 years and I loved it. I loved it here so much. I had this great little ritual I would do on the first of every month where I would stand in the middle of my apartment and touch every wall without taking a step as I wrote the check for $3,300. Oh, so convenient, isn't it? Oh, I don't have to step anywhere to feel my walls. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Now I'm there. That's so great. I love it so much. And when you live in a city like San Francisco, you don't need a lot of space. My wife and I, we had a 550 square foot apartment on the edge of the Tenderloin, but we loved it. We loved being here, and you don't need a lot of space when you're in a town like San Francisco. You just need somewhere to put your air mattress, your leather booty shorts, and your unicycle, and you're just out. Right? Just having fun, eating burritos, showing the world who you are. It's so great. But then what happened was, of course, COVID. COVID hit. And then my wife and I suddenly were both working at home and we're in 550 square feet. We're turning like our coffee table into a desk. And then the worst thing happened. I heard my spouse's meeting voice from work. Did you do that? You hear your significant other's work voice? Oh no. No, at first I'm like, oh cool, we're home all the time. This is gonna be so much sex. And then I heard her say, without irony, well, at least it's Thursday. Cut off, honey, cut off. I think we should see other people. Frankly, not cool. So we did that for a while, and then my wife got all worked up, and she's like, this sucks. What we should do, we've been saving up money for like 10 years. Why don't we go to a bank and see if maybe we can get a mortgage, and let's buy a house in California. I'm like, okay, let's do it. We got all our paperwork together, go to a bank, sit down with a nice person at a Wells Fargo and said, so, can we buy a house in California? And they take a look at our paperwork, and then they look me in the eye, and they say, no, not a chance. Not a chance in hell. Frankly, you're lucky you're out of the sun right now, sir. And that did not feel good. But what happened was, my wife grew up around Detroit, and she said, let's just go there. We could be closer to family, let's go. But I think, no, we got denied a mortgage here. There's no way it's gonna work there. But we took all the same paperwork, fly to Detroit, sit down with a banker there, and I said, so, could we buy a house in Detroit? They didn't even look at our fucking paperwork. She just looked at me and like, yeah, it's Detroit. Are you kidding? Takes one look like, I see you have shopped at Whole Foods recently. Yes, you can buy a house in Detroit. You fucking crazy? You want to live where a Detroit Piston has lived, maybe? So then now, okay, so we're cool. So then we got to shop for a house. I'd never done that before. We had to meet with a realtor. You're talking to a realtor who asks you real human questions about what you want in your life and in your home. She asked me, what's the #1 perk or a feature you want in a house? I couldn't think of anything. I've been renting my whole life in small apartments, so the only thing I could think of was, hey, is it cool, is it impossible if I could take a shit and she doesn't know about it for a little while? Now we have 14 bathrooms. Detroit, y'all. Detroit. But it's good to be back. I've been in San Francisco for about 36 hours. I have eaten 2 burritos, In-N-Out Burger, and Bob's Donuts. Let's see what happens on stage tonight. But I love it. It's been so great. I flew here, of course. Flew here back on planes again, which should be fun. It should be cool to be like flying back around the country. But I went right back to Spirit Airlines, right back. Which I do appreciate. Spirit had almost 2 years to like wipe shit down, make some improvements, and they're like, nope, exactly the same. We're not changing anything. And I flew Spirit a bunch before the pandemic, went right back to it. I fly it so much I'm like numb to how shitty it is. And I know I gotta stop, I gotta pick a new airline, and I know I'm like super numb to it because I read this story where someone was on a Spirit plane to go to visit family or something. On the flight, in the middle of the flight, they're up at cruising altitude, someone on the plane had a heart attack and died. Spirit does not stop the flight, they don't land to take care of it, they just take a blanket and throw it over the body. Finish the fucking flight, just go all the way with a corpse in a middle seat. But I'm so numb to how shitty Spirit is, the first thing I think when I read that story was just to go, wait, Spirit has blankets now? What? You gotta die to get it, you gotta die. You got a blanket on Spirit.